Fishing minigames, they are the comfort food of the RPG world. Whether it's Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, or Final Fantasy, we love the simple act of casting a line and waiting for a bite. It's relaxing, it's meditative, it's safe. But what if the water wasn't safe? What if the ocean didn't just want your bait, but wanted you instead? In 2023, a small team from New Zealand called Black Salt Games asked a simple question. What happens when you mix the cozy loop of fishing simulator with the creeping, cosmic dread of H.P. Lovecraft? The answer was Dredge. It's a game that defies genre. It's a cozy horror. A game where you manage inventory space and upgrade your engine, all while trying to ignore the whispers in your head and the things slithering in the dark. We're setting sail to the Marrows to uncover why this indie gem became an instant classic, how it masters the art of atmospheric tension, and why, sometimes, it's better to leave some things buried in the deep. At its surface, Dredge is deceptively simple. You're a fisherman who has crashed their boat in a remote archipelago called the Marrows. You're given a loan, a rusty tub, and a task. Fish, sell, upgrade, repeat. The brilliance lies in how Black Salt Games gamify this loop. Fishing isn't passive. It's a series of rhythm-based quicktime events that differ depending on the fish. It keeps you engaged just enough without becoming stressful, at least during the day. Now, the minigame, the quicktime event minigame for fishing, at first, it was easy, but it does get a bit annoying sometimes. Maybe it's a skill issue. It definitely is a skill issue, I think. But sometimes I feel like the game wouldn't register properly my inputs. But again, it could be just a fucking skill issue on my part. And they don't necessarily get repetitive. I mean, okay, it does get repetitive because that's the whole point of the game, right? You click square, X, where the fuck it is, to lure in the fishies. But the thing is, but after a while, like, you know, when you're in a certain area or you're discovering different, more rare species of fish, the minigame itself becomes different. And also, when you're dredging, when you're like picking up shit from the ocean, not fish, instead of aligning a green line or a dot or whatever to where you're supposed to hit it, you're dodging crevices, and that's what makes it a bit different when you're dredging compared to fishing. And they do progressively get harder. It does get annoying sometimes because I'll mention later the mechanics of the game, but messing up does screw you a little bit. Like many other games, like Resident Evil, this game's inventory system is spatial inventory, or what we affectionately call inventory Tetris. Every fish has a shape. A cod is a straight bar, a flounder is a square, a shark is a massive L shape. Fitting your catch into your limited hold becomes a puzzle itself. It forces you to make choices. Do you keep that valuable engine part you dredged up, or do you toss it to make room for a trophy barracuda? It's a constant friction that makes you full hold feel like a genuine accomplishment. When you first started the game, your hull, your storage, your inventory, whatever, it's hella small. It makes sense, right? When you're starting any fucking game, you're starting out with the basics, the bare minimum, and you gradually upgrade and blah blah blah. And in this game, it kind of forces you to really think about what you want to upgrade, whether that be the fishing rod, your engine, your storage, because everything that you use in this game or that helps you play better is really fucking important. Because if your engine's too slow, you're not gonna be able to traverse the ocean in a good amount of time before it's nighttime and you get fucked. Or if you have only a specific type of rod, you can only you can only fish in certain locations. If you have a rod that can only fish in shallow areas, you can't ship in, or why I keep saying shit? You can't fish in deeper areas. So same thing with the inventory system. If you don't have enough space, you can't really fish for the rarer and bigger fish because there's literally no fucking room. And I in my playthrough, I did bump into some spots where I had to decide to get rid of either the fish or my treasure because I didn't have any room. But it does feel nice to rearrange the items in your inventory for them to fit, and the game does kind of help you in that aspect. Once you're rearranging shit, it'll highlight orange. Orange means that you have room in your inventory, but you have to figure out how to actually put it all together. This feeds into a perfectly paced economy. You sell fish to pay off your debt, then to buy faster engines, brighter lights, and better rods. The progression is tangible. You feel the difference when you upgrade your engine speed. You feel the safety of a stronger hull. It's the classic RPG dopamine loop, refined to its purest essence. You tell yourself, just one more day, just one more upgrade, and it's suddenly 3 a.m. in real life. And this is where it did take me a while to, I wouldn't say get used to, more like it took me a while to like the loop. Because at some point, at least for me, I don't think it's a detriment to the game. I kind of felt overwhelmed a little bit when it came to the loop of upgrading this, selling that, upgrading this, and yada yada. Not only that, but you also had the quests or missions that you had to do, fish specific fish, go find this particular item. It does stack up. So I think that way I played this game was messy, I guess. I didn't have like a straight path or certain things to do in order. I just kind of did shit as I felt like, I guess. Like, I just played the game. I just held on my analog stick and just piloted. What's the correct verbiage for a boat? Driving? Sailing. It's sailing. But I'm not sailing though, I have an engine. Whatever. What was I saying? Yeah, it became messy for me because there was a lot to do, but I'm not saying that's a negative. It's just that you have to get into the groove of knowing what you want to do. I feel like if you're going to play this game, you kind of have to organize your thoughts, or else you're going to be like hella messy like I was. So what makes the game a cozy horror fishing game? Dredge has a rule: be back by sundown. The game operates on a strict day-night cycle. By day, the ocean is blue and inviting. By night, it is a hostile, shifting nightmare. This is managed by the panic system. As the sun sets and night opens up on top of your screen, exposure to darkness, fog, and monsters increases your panic. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I first started playing it, I did get scared because I had no idea what the fuck was gonna, show up. Because I kind of knew. Actually, did I know? I don't remember. I think I knew there was something fishy going on. Yeah, so once night hit, okay, at the same time, the game does kind of force you to not fish at night because it does make your life harder. The fog is thicker, or the fog is thick rather, so you can't really see in front of you unless you have, the better lights. But lights don't really, help you. Like, they don't make the darkness go away like in Minecraft. You place down a torch and monsters respawn. In this game, it doesn't fucking care. You can see a little, you can see what you're doing, kind of, but the game doesn't give a fuck. Also, because you're panicking, you start to hallucinate shit. And one of the hallucinations that you see, and I guess they're kind of real because they're in your head, but they're not real. I don't know. Rocks will start spawning in front of you. And if you hit those rocks, you're going to damage your fucking boat or your hull. So the panic system is really cool. And we'll get into it soon enough. High panic doesn't just kill you. It messes with your perception. The screen shakes, colors distort, whispers crawl through your speakers. You start seeing ghost ships that mimic your movement, trying to lure you into a collision. Rocks, literal solid masses that I mentioned before, will materialize in front of you out of thin air. It's gaslighting as a gameplay mechanic, low-key. You start to doubt your own navigation skills. Is that a lighthouse? Or is that a lure of an anglerfish the size of a building? The further you progress into the game, or the further you panic, the scarier and bigger the hallucinations or real things attack you. And then there are the fish themselves, the whole point of the game. Every species has a corrupted variant called an aberration. These are twisted, gory, Lovecraftian mutations. Fish with gnashing teeth where their eyes should be, or scales that glow with radioactive slime. Catching them plays a jarring, discordant sound effect. Collecting these aberrations becomes a morbid curiosity. You're repulsed, yet compelled to fill your encyclopedia with these horrors. It's a perfect blend of gotta catch 'em all and body horror. When I was first starting off the game and started fishing and looking at the encyclopedia, yeah, it's definitely like Pokemon. You're catching these unknown species, your encyclopedia or Pokedex is completely empty, and once you catch a specific fish, it tells you where you caught it from, if you can catch it at day or night or both, what kind of rod did you use, or was it oceanic, was it shallow, was it volcanic. It tells you how many aberrations they have. It tells you the weight, the length, etc., etc. Just like a Pokedex. A Pokedex, you catch a fucking Dialga, whatever. It tells you it's a legendary. It's a fucking. What the fuck type is Dialga? I don't fucking know. Anyway, it tells you the typing and all the information relative to the Pokemon. I think it's kind of cool. It does kind of push you to 100% the encyclopedia to see like what the fuck you're catching. I will be honest though, I didn't 100% the encyclopedia because it is kind of annoying, but it's more of a me thing. Because even for Pokemon, I don't complete the Pokedex in any game. I mean, I try to get as much as I can, but I can never bring myself to catch every single species or Pokemon in their games. So that's not really a detriment to the game. It's more of a me issue. So if you want 100% of the encyclopedia, it's doable. It's really doable. It's just there's a lot of luck and timing involved in it. And also one thing that really pushed me into catching a lot of the fish is the art. The fish look really cool, especially the aberrations, the variants of the fish, if you will. It was pretty cool, very creative, not gonna lie. The map of Dredge isn't massive, but it is incredibly dense. It's divided into distinct biomes, each introducing new mechanics and new terrors. You start in the Meadows, a standard rocky coast, but soon you venture to Gale Glyphs, a maze of narrow passages hunted by a massive cyclopean serpent. It turns the game into a stealth mission, forcing you to hide in waterfalls to avoid being eaten. If I could read, Jesus. Stellar Basin is a highlight, a beautiful coral reef surrounding a deep blue hole where something massive lives, requiring you to use a generator to keep it suppressed. Then there is the Twisted Strand, a confusing mangrove swamp that feels like a labyrinth. I hated to slow up this section, by the way, where the trees themselves seem to move. Each area requires different fishing rods and different strategies, preventing the gameplay from ever becoming stale. Oh wait, I also kind of didn't like the volcano area. Anyway, each area requires different fishing rods and different strategies, preventing the gameplay from ever becoming stale. You aren't just upgrading numbers; you're adapting your vessel to survive hostile environments. I have a script, right? But sometimes I do get in my head. No, I don't get in my head. I do like add my on the spot opinions and shit. So if that bothers you, let me know and I'll stop doing it. Because sometimes I'm like reading like my outline. It's not really a script, let's be honest. I'm just, okay, it kind of is a script, but I'm reading it, right? But then there's like right now, I have to say shit. I think it makes the video feel more authentic, more real than just reading off a script. But if it is annoying and you just want the script to be read, let me know. But if you like that I add my own words to it aside from what I really wrote down, then just it's fine. Who cares? Now the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest thing or reason why this game is really cool or really mysterious and fun is the actual narrative. The story of Dredge is told with admirable restraint. You meet a mysterious man named the Collector, who lives alone on a jagged rock. He tasks you with dredging up specific relics from the bottom of the ocean. He doesn't tell you why. He just gives you a book, the Crimson Book, that grants you supernatural abilities, like a speed boost that burns your engines or a teleport that costs your sanity. We'll get into the powers later, I promise. The narrative is delivered largely through bottle messages, diary entries from a woman simply known as the Wife. Through these fragmented notes, you piece together a tragedy, a story of a couple who dredged up something they shouldn't have, bringing an ancient god back to the surface. It's a classic Lovecraftian trope, the pursuit of forbidden knowledge leading to ruin. The brilliance is that, okay, just FYI, spoilers ahead, so if you haven't played the game and you want to know the story, I'm letting you know right now, spoilers. The brilliance is that you, the player, are complicit. You know retrieving these relics is a bad idea. Every NPC tells you it's a bad idea. But the gameplay loop, the need for upgrades, the need to finish the quest, pushes you forward. You are dredging up the doom of the world for a better fishing rod. The game offers two endings. One requires you to break the cycle, realizing your mistake and throwing the book into the sea. The other sees you fulfill your contract, summoning a cosmic entity that consumes the world. Both feel earned, but the bad ending feels like the true conclusion to the addiction loop the game puts you in. So that's the canon ending, as far as I know, is the bad one. But I like the good ending, where you don't, kill the world. And the good ending is when you throw away the book, right? You throw away the book, and then the Leviathan. So the Leviathan and the god are two different things. The Leviathan is just a giant fucking monster fish that, stalks you if you go on the border of the world. If you go on the border of the world, it'll eat you. And in this case, when in the good ending, which I think should have been canon, but whatever, you throw away the book, or you throw the book in the ocean, and I don't know if the power attracts a Leviathan or whatever, but for some reason Leviathan comes at you and eats you. So in both endings, you the player die, right? You die in both endings. But the difference is, in the good one, you save the world, and the bad one, you kill the world along with yourself. And now, one of the best, not a best twist, but a good twist. Again, spoilers. I'm already spoiled enough, but more spoilers ahead. It turns out that you, the player, were the collector this entire fucking time. When I found that out, I was like, mind blown type shit. So to recap the story a little bit, as best as I can, you forget everything. Like, you have no memory of yourself. That's why when you start the game, you're sailing into this town as a brand new fisherman. But you were already there. You're from that town. And then if you really pay close attention, in the beginning of the game, it shows you a cutscene of the interior of the ship, of the boat that you're in, and you can see the Crimson Book on your desk. But when you first do the playthrough, it's just a random book. You never, unless you're like hella fucking smart or very attentive to detail, then you'll see that the Crimson Book was already there, and then the collector, the guy you talk to, is holding the Crimson Book, right? But sometimes I'm not that attentive. I try my best to be attentive to detail and stuff, but most of the time I can't, because I have to be actively thinking about it rather than passively think about it. So the game from the start tells you you're the collector because the book is right there. And then you later find out that the house that the guy, the quote unquote collector, was living in, it was just a fucking, it was an actual building, but the fisherman, you, were looking in a mirror. So you were talking to yourself this entire time, telling you to go find these objects that you supposedly forgot about, and to bring back your wife. And you end up breaking the mirror, and that's when the game tells you that you were the collector this entire time. And you were trying to save your wife because she died again, because you guys were the player and your wife were doing some shitty shit with like gods and monsters and shit. That's why the entire town is like condemned, cursed, with all these apparitions and the giant monsters in the deep ocean, all the shit, because you and your wife kind of brought that shit to the world, to the town. And so she dies, and the book tells you, the book that you found, which brought all this calamity to you, to the town, it tells you how to bring her back. And you need those items that the whole point of the game is to fetch for the guy. That's the whole point. That's the main objective of the game. Yeah, you're fishing and selling and blah, blah, blah. But the whole main plot of the game is you're trying to revive your wife. But again, you don't know she's your wife because you don't know that you're the collector at the beginning of the game. So yeah, the whole point of the game is that you're trying to save your wife, and it is kind of tricky to get the good ending. I did some Googling because I didn't know how to do it. It's really easy. So the default ending would be the bad ending, because you're not going to know that to get the good ending, you have to do like you have to talk to like 2 NPCs. You have to talk to the lighthouse guardian or the watcher. I forgot her name. And then the old mayor that got like mentally broken because of all the shit that went down. So once you talk to those 2, then you get the good ending. But again, the game doesn't explicitly tell you to do that. It like clues you, or it like hints at you to do that. But if you're not paying close attention or filling all the details, you're not gonna know that. So most players will default to the bad ending, which is bringing back your wife but ending the entire fucking world. I did say I was gonna go back to the powers, and really you only have like 2 supernatural. No, 4, not 2, 4. You have 4 magical or non-normal powers. You have haste, which is it boosts your engines, but it causes you to panic, and also they blow up your engines if you're not careful. You have manifest, which is a teleport one. It teleports you back to Blackstone Isle, which is the isle thing that the collector or you go to talk to. You have banish, which wards away all the monsters. So this is like, or it's a propellant. It's a repellent. If you activate it, if something's chasing you, or if you see like a bunch of apparitions or hallucinations rather, they'll go away. And then you have atrophy, which basically kills a bunch of fishes, and you just like instantly fish them. And again, well, the only downside of using these powers is that they do cause panic. Even during the day, you'll get panicked, and the only way to get rid of panic, I don't think I mentioned this in the video yet, to get rid of panic, you have to sleep. Since launch, Black Salt Games hasn't rested. They expanded the world with the Pale Reach, an icy biome that added a satisfying icebreaker mechanic, and the Iron Rig, a more industrial expansion that focused on base building and the consequences of corporate greed. These expansions prove that the core loop of Dredge is robust enough to support new ideas without losing its charm. Now, this is a bit, I wouldn't call it delicate or a hot take, but reading the Steam reviews, these expansions weren't well received. I personally didn't play them for that reason. Also, because I have the game on Epic Games and I don't want to give Epic Games money. I got it for free because Epic Games for free games. So I don't have the DLC because I didn't buy it. But based on Steam reviews and what I've seen online, the expansions are kind of mid. They're mostly fetch quests. Yeah, they expand the lore a little bit, but in terms of gameplay, you're getting the same shit, which is good if you're into it. It's bad if you wanted something new, or yeah. But it's, I guess it's just more of the same, and it lacks, according to like based on what I've read, it just lacks anything else. It's just the same repetitive shit, but not as good. But those are just the Steam reviews and the consensus I've read online. Again, I don't really have a personal opinion since I didn't play them. We also have to talk about the look. Dredge proves that art direction trumps graphical fidelity every time, obviously. The low poly, painterly style allows your imagination to fill the gaps. The character portraits are jagged and angular, looking like oil paintings left out in the rain. It creates a mood that is dusty, salty, and ancient. Dredge is a miracle of game design. It balances two opposing forces: the cozy relaxation of fishing and the high stakes tension of survival horror, and marries them perfectly. It respects your time, it intrigues your mind, and it unsettles your soul just enough to keep you on edge. It's a reminder that the ocean is vast, deep, and largely unexplored, and while it offers bounty to those brave enough to sail it, it also demands a price. Dredge isn't just a game about fishing, it's a game about what we choose to drag up from the dark and what we leave behind. So, what was your first monster that really scared you? For me, I think it was the anglerfish. I can't remember, but something did fucking scare me. um, yeah, so let me know in the comments below what you thought about the game. If you enjoyed it, if you hated it, if it scared you, if you were Giga Chat and it didn't scare you at all, pussy game. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, share the video, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.